In the early morning of September 17, 1973, Jay Barth was at the wheel of a 22-foot utility truck that was loaded with sound equipment. Just south of Benton Harbor, Michigan, an oncoming car crossed the center line. Fortunately, Jay steered clear of the impending head-on collision. Unfortunately, a soft shoulder caused the truck to roll 2.5 times. Exit several Crown DC-300As through the metal roof of the truck's cargo area. The airborne 300As finally came to rest, scattered about in a muddy field where they remained partially submerged for 4.5 hours. Jay miraculously escaped injury. The amplifiers apparently had not. Unbelievably, after a short time under a blow dryer, all the amps work perfectly and are still going strong. The rest and the truck is history. 65 years after its founding, Crown is the worldwide leader in professional amplifier technology. Being the leader takes passionate people, groundbreaking technology, and a vision.
It takes great people.
World-class people.
Great people.
It takes a lot of people.
Care about the product.
Innovation leaders.
Everybody's passionate.
Passionate people who like great sound.
This area is famous for its work ethic, the work standards, and the never say die sort of Hoosier mentality that I've grown to love. And that's a great base to build a company around. When you've got a work ethic like that, it just can really take you places that you've never even dreamt of before.
Crown was founded in 1947 by Clarence Moore, an Elkhart, Indiana minister, as International Radio and Electronics Corporation. The company originally developed open-reel tape recorders for missionaries. Today, Crown is the leader in professional amplifier technology.
You know, if you look at some of the technical innovation that was born right here in this corner of Indiana, you know, it's just amazing.
I knew that there was something here other than just a radio station. So I came on over and interviewed. In fact, I got interviewed by Clarence. Came in with a roll of vacuum tube amplifier schematics under my arm. And, explained, what my background was, what my interests were. And Crown at that time made amplifiers as accessories for tape recorders. It wasn't an amplifier company per se. They were strictly accessories to the dominant product, which was tape recorders. Amplifiers started to dominate the business with the success of the DC-300. And that's like 1968.
The tour sound market didn't even exist when Crown created the DC-300 and started selling the DC-300 and the PSA-2 and sort of became a market leader as this market began to emerge.
A DC-300 in the day, that was the amplifier. I mean, you couldn't kill those things.
The success of the DC-300 blazed the trail for the rapidly growing amplifier market. In the 1970s and 80s, the innovation continued with products like the PSA-2 and the Macrotech series, which became the industry standard.
I can tell you that my very first Crown was a PSA-2, and it's still working. And everybody who knows anything about Crown knows how old this amp is.
In moving away from the solid ground of Macrotech and analog amplifiers to integrate DSP and digital solution, it really proves that they're not willing to stay on safe ground, but they like to find new solutions and new ideas.
In the 70s and 80s, that continued with grounded bridge, junction temperature sensing, a bunch more patents. I think, we have like 20 or 25 some patents just in linear amplifier technology alone, and then another 15 or 20 now in the digital switch mode technologies. We clearly, from a technology perspective, come from an analog, primarily an analog company. Now clearly all of our products are digital and networked and implement switch mode amplifier technology.
Hardware is what gets me to where I want to go, which is to the music. When we came to Crown, we came there because of that exact reason. We were looking to make technological leaps. And we needed to stay ahead, to keep our position in this touring business, which is quite rough.
And of course, Gerald was leading the way, as chief R&D guru, amp designer. He's the world's preeminent amplifier expert.
Anytime I'm involved in designing an amplifier, I basically try to put myself in the shoes of the customer. and what is it that he wants. And of course, one of the things that I wind up always communicating to engineers when they come here, it's really all about making sure that the customer has value and that they wind up doing what they wish to do.
To meet the challenge of its customers' needs, another innovation was born. It was no longer enough to only consider hardware. Crown developed the Smart Amplifier, with software designed to monitor and control hundreds of amps at a time.
It kind of started back in the late 80s with a couple of customer requests. I happened to be working with a guy, his name was Larry Schallenberger. He was working on a system called the IQ module. And basically it was a way to remotely control and monitor a series of amplifiers. We basically started a new category called Smart Amplifiers.
I think the IQ platform for Crown really was a fundamental development that at first a lot of people thought it was cool and it was interesting, but I don't think early on that many people really understood that it was going to make it possible for them to do things that they couldn't do before.
And the software plays a big role, because if you can go to a Tour Sound customer, someone who's going to purchase our equipment, and say, well, yeah, we can power those loudspeakers, no problem, but hardware without software is only half the system.
We just invested in the new JBL VTX system, and it's all Crown powered. We have IT 12000 since 2 years now in our rental stock, which is the most powerful amplifier, I believe, on the planet. And we're very happy. They're very reliable, and everybody, all of my customers tell me it's one of the best amplifiers they ever used.
Following a multi-million-dollar expansion in the late 90s, Crown was acquired by Harmon in 2000 and immediately benefited from shared technologies. The acquisition meant Harmon now owned the signal chain from microphone to loudspeaker.
I think by being part of Harmon, they were able to get a broader view of these market influences that could affect our next generation product. But in addition to that, just pure resources. You know, if you think about Harmon and its size and what it's allowed us to do, things like Drivecore and some of the new product technology, none of that would have been financially feasible as a small entity on its own.
I think Drivecore is really the culmination of something that a lot of the guys at Crown have wanted to do for a long time, which is take all of this technology that's been developed in a discrete way, meaning we're building it out of individual parts, hundreds and thousands of individual parts, and condense all of that knowledge onto a single integrated circuit.
So now we have high power stuff that's comparable in power output to the DC300, but you can hold it in the palm of your hand.
And of course, doing that has a number of benefits. It increases the quality of the product, it reduces the parts count, it allows you to make things much smaller than they were previously, it drops the cost dramatically, and of course, doing all of those things enables us to bring more and more innovative products into the market.
Drivecore technology is terrific. It removes a lot of component failures from the equation and replaces it with one chip, and the results have been a very reliable, very robust amplifier. It delivers great sound to the audience because the audience matters.
We've been very successful in the last 5 or 10 years at producing truly unique products that really move the bar. We have a lot of really interesting ideas about what the future of amplification looks like. Everybody needs an amplifier. They are all over the place. I think in the next 5 years you're going to see us really bring some of those ideas into the market and hopefully rewrite the textbooks in the process.
The culture has evolved over time from what you might call a small private mom and pop type shop to a more global competitor and global capable organization. But the people haven't changed. We're audio guys first. I think that's one of the most amazing things, and one of the things that's kept me here is the camaraderie and the working with experienced, passionate, committed engineers and other people in all the various business sections of the company.
We are incidental to what the customer wants to do. The customer wants to make music, they want to be heard, they want to perform, and they want to enjoy what they do. Okay? So we just simply are a piece of that puzzle We are part of making that happen, and the measure will make that happen. We have succeeded.
When I think of Crown, I think about the most powerful amplifier I can buy, and I sleep well at night because I know the amps don't break.
I mean, I have to say Crown service is amazing. I mean, it really is. You know, anything that happens with anything we're doing, I mean, if something needs to happen and it's overnight, somebody's on it. And for us, it's paramount. It has to happen. I mean, we can't tell, you know, some superstar, oh, by the way, we're sorry, that can't happen.
We're going to continue to lead the industry as we always have, with higher performance, higher efficiency. You know, we were green before green was cool, you know, in terms of efficient amplifiers. And clearly the innovation is not going to stop